Hey there guys, what is going on? In today's best class setups in Modern Warfare series, we've got a little bit of a special one for you. If you don't know who Scump is, he's one of the best Call of Duty players in the world. He currently plays for the Chicago Huntsmen in the COD League and is definitely one of the reasons why they're pretty close to the top of the standings. We've got his MP5 class here, and now let me tell you something. The COD League is a little bit different to pub matches, of course. They do play a lot of search and destroy, so a lot of the classes that they do make, we wouldn't really consider any good, and the classes that we consider overpowered probably wouldn't match up in that environment. So this one is a little bit different. Everyone knows that the MP5 is the best SMG and one of the best guns in the game, and this is SCUMP'S class for one of the best guns. So we do have the best class for the best SMG from one of the best players in the world, and that's really special. This thing is absolutely wild. I've been dropping some serious games with this, and I definitely say that this class is overpowered, of course, even through all the nerfs that it has received. This is definitely one of my favorite class setups, and it's one of, if not the absolute best class for the MP5 at the moment. Plus, the COD League rules are slightly different where certain attachments like suppressors are actually banned. But just before we get into our class setup here, let's try and get this one to 7 likes. The support for the videos has been absolutely huge recently, so I do thank every single one of you who has watched any of the videos, liked all of them, subscribed, do all that good stuff. I do appreciate it an awful lot, so make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on if you haven't already, so you get notified when my videos go live. We are, of course, still growing all the time, heading very quickly towards that 500 subscriber mark, which would just be wild to me. As of recording this, I think we are at 487, which is really crazy. Like, that's wild. That's about 200 since I did start uploading the Modern Warfare stuff, which is just crazy. So yeah, I appreciate everyone who does even glance at one of my videos. So let's talk about SCUMP'S MP5 class here. So everyone in the comment section of pretty much every MP5 video knows that the key to a good MP5 class is simply just putting on the MP5. That's a good enough start, and everyone probably already knows just how powerful this thing is. It's an absolute melt machine. Even through all the nerfs and changes that have been made to try and bring this thing back into line, it still sits comfortably at the top of the SMG tree, and it's definitely still one of the best weapons in the game for sure. I do love this class an awful lot. It's very fun and really powerful. You've always got to keep those kind of classes around just in case you need to absolutely stomp a lobby. It'd be pretty sick if Infinity Ward did give us even more classes to work with, but I'm pretty sure they're a little bit busy right now with all the Warzone updates that they've got planned and things like that, so it's probably on the back burner for them right now. But enough preamble here, let's go over SCUMP'S overpowered MP5 class. So we'll start off with our sidearm perks and grenade choices here. We'll go over them quite quickly because they're fairly similar on most of my classes if you've seen any of my class setup videos before. Our sidearm is, of course, the 357 Snake Shot Revolver because it is still one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and it's only a sidearm. We've set it up like this, of course. We've got the 357 long barrel, the 5mm laser, the light action trigger, the Snake Shot, and the stippled grip tape. Perfect for getting those people up close if you do run out of MP5 ammo. We've seen a little bit of a change in the perk meta recently. A lot of people are running around with these 3 perks. Perk 1 is EOD to help you not die to those explosives because no one likes the guy throwing infinite C4s around. Perk 2, we do have Ghost for staying off of that radar. Hiding from UAVs is really powerful, and it works in great combination with our 3rd perk, which is Tracker, which does let you see enemy footsteps, and you can also see enemy death markers, and it hides your markers of enemies that you do kill. This is a really powerful combination, like I said, for stealth and helping you flank around the map. Super strong. In the lethal slot, we usually roll with the C4 because it is very strong, but all these options do play an important job in pretty much every game. You can pick whatever you like here. And the tactical is, of course, the stim shot. You're a coward if you use the stun or flash grenade in this game, I swear, man. You gotta use the stim because it makes you sweaty as heck. So our first attachment is in a bit of an unusual spot. Normally we'd have something in the muzzle or barrel slot, but we're starting with the stock slot here. We've got the F-Tac collapsible. With this, we get a healthy amount of aim down, sight speed, and movement speed. We do lose a bit of recoil control and aiming stability, but we can adjust for this with our other attachments, so it's not really too big of a deal. I feel like this is one of the stronger options on most weapons in the game. Taking off the stock already does make you more powerful. Like movement speed and aim down sight speed are pretty desirable for pretty much every weapon in this game. Just the boost you get to your handling or mobility allow an already fast weapon to move around the map very quickly, and it's super powerful. I do love an aggressive playstyle in this game. There's just something that feels right when everybody is sprinting around having a good time in Call of Duty rather than just camping and sitting in sort of one window and then just waiting for people to walk past. That's why I think Shoot House was actually very important to this game, and sort of help people remember that this game actually is supposed to be played like that. So this is a really good attachment for us here. So in this stock slot, of course, we do have the F-Tac collapsible, and that is the first attachment for this overpowered class setup. We're skipping the barrel option as there really isn't a super great option for the MP5 in the barrel slot. Man, I'd love one of these to be something that give us damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, but I feel like that would make the gun even more busted, so we've skipped the barrel slot here. Same goes for the laser slot. We've got better attachments in other slots, so taking a laser doesn't really benefit us too much here. And an optic is pretty unnecessary as well, basically just because the iron sights on the MP5 are already really clean, so we can skip an optic here as well. Right, moving down to an actual attachment that we have got here, we've got our foregrip slot to help us control that recoil. That is the Merc foregrip that we have chosen here. With this handle here that you can see, we've got recoil control and hip fire accuracy. This does cost us a little bit of aim walking movement speed and aim down sight speed. Basically, with this attachment, we're combating the negative effects that we do get from the F-Tac collapsible. Making class setups in this game is all about balancing out your stats. You do want to find the best stats, and then you can cover up the weaknesses that do have. So you want to make your green bars higher than your red ones, obviously. This is a really strong recoil attachment. Plus, we do get a little bit of hip fire accuracy to help us at those close range fights when the situation does actually come up. In this slot would be the Ranger foregrip as well for the recoil control and aiming stability. Similar sort of situation here. I do prefer the Merc foregrip. They are both really strong though. Like, I do enjoy the hip fire accuracy that you do get with close range weapons. It just makes it a little bit easier when you do get taken by surprise. It's really handy when you're sprinting around. So we do have the Merc foregrip in the foregrip slot, and that is our second attachment in this overpowered class. Next, we've got the ammo slot. This is the absolute master slot, the key slot for the MP5, and it really is one of the best attachments in the game. The 10mm auto 30 round mags give us extra damage and extra range at the cost of our fire rate and recoil control. You can pretty much ignore the negatives here though. We are here for the extra damage and extra range. With this, the MP5 really does feel like it is an assault rifle with SMG handling. It is absolutely nuts, and this is the subject of some slight nerfs recently, but not even those changes can keep this absolute powerhouse attachment down. Basically, you've got to run this on the MP5. You're doing yourself a massive disservice if you don't. I mean, not running this, the regular 9mm ammo is kind of powerful already. Like, it does have a decent fire rate and it does decent damage, but it's not as powerful as this is. This even allows you to fight at longer ranges. Like, you can take on fights you really shouldn't be with an SMG, and most of the time you will come out on top. The first person who used this must have just thought they struck absolute gold, man. Like, what a wild thing to just find the best gun in the game. So, of course, in the ammo slot, we do have the 10mm auto 30 round mags, and that is the third attachment for this overpowered class. Next, we've got the rear grip slot, and we could not leave off the greatest of all time attachment, the stippled grip tape. Aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed are absolutely the best stats that you can get in this game. You can use them in every single fight that you do get in. We do lose a little bit of control with this attached, but like with the 10mm mags, just don't pay it any mind, don't worry about it too much. Just slap this on and you absolutely shred people. With this combination of attachments, we just aim down sights so quickly. Like, those sights are up even before you know it and you're already spraying people down. Like, you can see in the gameplay in the background that some people shoot us first. We still get our sights up and we still manage to get the kill. So it's just wild how strong this is. Just being able to get those sights up super quickly is so strong. We both probably got it on every single class in the game, and it's definitely one of the best attachments for the game for sure. I guess you could make an argument for one of the recoil reducing options. If you do struggle a little with the recoil that you do get, you can consider putting on like a rubberized grip tape, but you'd be missing out on the stippled grip tape stats, so keep that in mind. So in the rear grip slot, we do of course have the stippled grip tape, and that is the fourth attachment in this overpowered class. And lastly, we do have the perk slot here. In this, we've got the best perk in the game, other than fully loaded in my opinion. Reloading faster with sleight of hand is always a massive bonus in this game. Simply being able to send more bullets at your enemies is a huge boost over them. I imagine having sleight of hand is probably a response to not being able to use the monolithic suppressor in the COD League from SCUMP'S, so this is a really strong option in that slot. I guess in saying that, if you're not a fan of the sleight of hand, you think that reloads fast enough already, you can probably just throw on a monolithic suppressor for the little bit of extra damage range. I personally don't feel like you need it. The range is good enough, and you can see that in the background. We do fight people at fairly long ranges that you don't really have to be concerned about the extra range you do get from the monolithic suppressor. Just move closer. Like, if you do think you're going to be worried about it, just move slightly closer. So in the perk slot, we do of course have sleight of hand, and that is the last attachment for this overpowered class. Alright, so this is the full loadout with all the attachments here that Scump has chosen for his MP5, and because of that, that's now what I prefer on my MP5. This is a super busted class, like super strong. One of the best in the game for sure, even with the constant nerfs to the MP5. This thing still remains one of the best weapons in the game for sure, and this combination of attachments really balances each other out. Like, you've got control, mobility, extra range, and great damage. So big shout out to Scump for this class, of course. It's insane. Thank you very much for watching this one, guys. I do appreciate it, of course. Make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe with those notifications turned on. If you are new around here, of course, we're really close to 500 subscribers now, which would just absolutely be crazy to me. That's going to be a wild mark to hit for sure. So again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!